Welcome to the Arsenal Show. We are live. I'm joined by UK. He's back in the building. How you doing, Steve?
Yeah, you do, mate. It's good to be back. Good to be back.
All right, we've got plenty to discuss today. First and foremost, the postponed games. They've been rearranged. It was originally meant to be a 2:00 kickoff on Sunday. It's now been rearranged to a 12:00 kickoff against Brentford. Unfortunately, the PSV game has been postponed, but that is being rearranged, and we should be playing that the following week. First and foremost, we're gonna start with the last time we played. 2-1 victory against Swiss side FC Zurich. Steve, it was one of them games where it was like, I don't know, Arsenal were in control. They let a silly goal in. It was a penalty, and then, but there weren't really any worry about FC Zurich actually taking any points off us in that game, was there?
No, I never felt that we was going to lose that game. I never thought that, you know, when they got them penalty, I was still pretty confident that we would go on and win it. They never posed any threat, did they? I was a little bit disappointed that people giving Matty Turner some stick because I didn't think he played that bad. No, they never put us under pressure. I thought he was good because we played a few players that we haven't seen, and I thought all of them played really well. Mm-hmm. People like Tierney, Marquinhos, and Vieira. It was good to see Tommy Ash back. The Congo, I thought, did well again. I thought we came in and done a decent job. Overall, it wasn't a problem. It 2-1. It sounded close. But it was never a problem for me. I was never at any point worried at any time.
Mm-hmm. Eddie Nketiah comes in, fills in the gap for Gabriel Jesus, and puts in another good performance from the start again.
Yeah, another really great performance. You know, he's obviously he made the goal for Marquinhos. It's good to see him get an assist as well as his goal. He's certainly come on, and you know, ever since the start of the season, he's been playing very well. And like I said, I think it was in the last show before I went away. It was he's certainly proving his worth now, and he's got the bit between his teeth, isn't he? I mean, he's scoring goals, making goals, and he seems to be all worth that $100,000 a week that he's getting. So it's pleased. It was good. It was good to see him play for 90 minutes, and it was good to see him play well.
Yeah, another standout performance in that game was the man who set him up and was set up by Eddie Nketiah in Marquinhos. We did a show not long ago about asking whether Marquinhos. I think the title that I put was is he the new Gabriel Martinelli? We've since seen Marquinhos in the under-21s. At that time, I think Jerome said it's the under-21, so it's one of them. It's too early to sort of judge how good he is. But I mean, this kid can only beat what's in front of him, and so far in 4 games, he scored 4 goals, got 2 assists. I'll ask the question again: can this guy be an option for that right wing instead of Saka for when Saka's getting tired? We've seen
tough,
if we look at he played against under-21 opposition. Obviously, that was too easy for him. He came up against Zurich, and in that game, probably one of the standout players. Yeah. And if you look at the crosses that are going in off his weaker foot onto his left foot, one of them set up a goal, and the other one should have been another assist for Martinelli. This kid seems to be answering the questions that people are putting in front of him.
Yeah, I mean, it's early days, and we can only judge him on what we've seen so far, and everything we've seen so far is very is exciting for Arsenal fans. I mean, before he came, I made a point of sort of watching him on YouTube, what he was doing. And I thought, well, this guy looks a bit tasty. He could put pressure on Saka, but let's see what he got. So he came in. He came into the friendlies. He had a fantastic game against Chelsea in the over in Florida. And then we see him in the under-21s, which you could say is even a little bit more of a step up than the Chelsea game because it was a friendly. It can be pretty competitive, that under-21s at times. But he came into that. He smashed it there. And it played well against Manchester United. Next step up, play him in the Europa League against Zurich. And man, you could man of the match. Probably you could put him down as being man of the match. An excellent finish. A finish of someone who can play a bit. You know, you have to be able to play a bit to finish like that. There was sort of, it wasn't like sometimes you get a young player or a player that's just come to a club. They don't even have to be young, and they get in a position like that, and they go to jelly. You know they'll sky over into Rose Ed, or they'll take an extra touch, and that touch will just take it away, and everybody's going, "Oh, what are you doing?" This kid seems to be so confident in his ability, either foot, and that first goal for me proves that this kid is something pretty special because the way he finished that, I mean, he didn't just finish that, by just whacking it or burying it past the goalkeeper. He literally placed that past the goalkeeper in the top corner. I mean, we've both played. That is very difficult to do. I mean, look, people will say, Kears, that there was no one in front of him, but that came across and he hit that first time.
Oh, I've seen many a top striker miss that ball that's been wrapped in the way it did. 100%.
We see Ireland when the first game he came in, missed sitters. So obviously we're not comparing him with Ireland, before anybody starts whacking in the comments about he's on Ireland's level. But this is what can happen, and these are the things that you can judge a young kid going onwards. But like I just said there, he's going up the ladders and ticking each one off as he goes up, each step as he goes along. I mean, it was a great finish. You spoke about the assist for the goal. I mean, just brilliant cross. First I had to wonder who did it, who did the cross. And then I see it was Marquinhos, and I was so pleased it was him that did the cross. And yeah, can he take it on? Yeah, of course he can. Of course he can. Going by that level, he can take Saka's. Will he take it? I don't know. I don't know what it's in Arteta's head. If Arteta's thinking that people are talking about, I mean, it might be another question to ask, but they're talking about sending him out on loan.
In January.
In January, whether that would be a right thing to do or not. For me, that would all depend who they bring in. I mean, if they're going to bring in a Neto or they're going to bring in a Diaby, someone on that hill, then you think, well, you might as well go out on loan. I don't know. There might be a case for it. But if you're going to bring in like a Mudrak, which is sort of like an unknown entity to us, we're not too sure how he is. I certainly would not be sending him out on loan. I don't know what you think about that, Kieran, but I'm excited by him. You can't not be. You can't not be by what we've seen.
Yeah. No, I'm a big fan. This is why I keep on bringing the kid up, because I can't see why Arsenal can't give him an opportunity, a chance. He's hungry. You saw the passion when he scored, the emotions that was going through him, and you forget he's a 19-year-old. Like he's a kid. He's a 19-year-old who's moving away to another country, and it looks like he's settling in well. It looks like he's enjoying himself. He's got a lot of Brazilians in the team, a lot of Portuguese-speaking players in the team, so it definitely feel at home. There's also Portuguese-speaking players in the under-21s team as well. So he's not. The language barrier is not going to be an issue. I think him staying with us for this first half of the season at least is a really good grounding for him. If he does go on loan, I feel like it will still have that hunger to sort of want to come back and sees it as a part of his development in going on loan, rather than he's just been brought into the team and then shipped out, which could quite easily have happened. I think it's good that he's getting Europa League game time and playing with the first team as well. So, yeah, I'm really excited by the prospect of this kid. If you go by what they were saying in Brazil about him, they were saying that Arsenal paying 3 million for this kid was an absolute steal. It's like daylight robbery from Sao Paulo. Scouted, done a report on him last year before he was being linked with Arsenal, where they've stated that he's the fastest player in the league. And by far, he's like rapid. He's like disgustingly rapid. They were saying, and plus he's got tricks in the box as well. So, yeah, I think this is a really good prospect for the future. It'd be interesting to see if he does go out on loan, where he does go, whether they want to keep him in England, whether they want to ship him out to somewhere like Spain or something like that. Yeah, very, very interesting to see. But yeah, I think Arsenal found a real gem here. It's another exciting prospect.
I suppose even if like we did bring someone in. I mean, I think there's still a case to keep him because you do really need 3 players out on that left hand. So you only have got to get an injury, and you're back to square one again, and you wish he was here. So
yeah, well, we're in a situation like that with Elmer Smith-Rowe, where he's eager to come back. Arsenal fans are eager to see him get game time this season, so he can push on in his development. But he's got a niggling injury that won't seem to go away. He's meant to be the backup for Martinelli, so we're already in a situation where the backup to the starter is injured, so the starter's having to play again. So yeah, I feel like just having 2 players on each side isn't really an option. Isn't really like you need more than that. You need maybe 2 on each side and one that can do both. I suppose you may have that in Fabio Vieira, but I think he only covers one side really. I think it's more so the right hand side. If he was to play in that. But yeah, no, I make you right. I think it's not necessarily a case of if we do bring in a winger that we automatically get rid of Marquinhos and send him out on loan. But yeah, no, as I was saying before, it's an exciting prospect, and I'm looking forward to seeing much more of him before the January transfer window does come up. Because serious talent. Speaking of loans, Arsenal obviously had a very successful loan by loaning out William Saliba on 3 occasions, but to Marseille last season. And so far this season, 2 of our loan signings that have gone back over to France are absolutely smashing it. Balogun, he's managed to what's he got? He's got 7 games, 5 goals, 1 assist. Nuno Tavares, he's got 7 games, 3 goals, and he's played in the Champions League against Tottenham last week as well. And they are both getting absolutely rave reviews. We've seen Marcelo Flores on loan at Real Oviedo, who's doing really well, and Brooke Norton-Cuffy, who is gone out to Rotherham, a very good football playing side, came up from League One last season, and I saw him play the other day. Who was it against? I think it's against Watford, and he was excellent. People will talk about Jed Spence. I mean, this kid's got a way to go before he's like Jed Spence's level and the consistency there. But yeah, I can see why Arsenal didn't even bother thinking about a Jed Spence when there's this kid probably about 2 years behind. Pace, power. Yeah, it's really exciting to see again another hot prospect coming through the ranks, and he's playing against a team that were only in the Premier League last season. So, and he didn't look out of place in that as well. It seems quite clear that Arsenal are using the loan system to its best advantage, and it's going pretty well so far, Steve.
Yeah, I mean we've been put down a little bit, and by a lot of fans and a lot of fans from other clubs about our loan system over the years, and going back, even like a decade from what I can remember on some players. But we definitely seem to have got this right now. I mean, we've got it right with Emil Smith-Rowe, we've got it right with William Saliba. And now it looks like, you've just named three there who are absolutely smashing it. I think it all depends. I think when you send like players like this out on loan, I think it's important that you send them to a club with quality. I think it's important that you send them to a club where they're in the Champions League, if possible. I know that's not always possible, but if you can do that, then that's great. Rems are a great side. They're famous for bringing young players through. So I think that's, so to send to whoever's come up with that thought to say let's send him to Rems. France again, it's a country which is, where a player wouldn't mind going to. It's not that sometimes I've seen these youngsters and they send them out to Turkey and all these like out of these places where you just think they're just not going to do it out there. Even Germany to some degree, some players just don't fit with a different way of lifestyle. But places like France, especially Spain's, places like this, plenty of British, plenty of people around there who can talk the language. Obviously, it helps with Tavares' case with the fact that he's French and he's gone to a French club. So obviously that helps. And it's great because it's important now because Arteta's building a side. More importantly, he's building a squad. He obviously sees he could have sold Tavares on, he could have sold Balogun on. He obviously sees something into him, and he wants to put them in good clubs. Just the same as Saliba, he wanted to see him come on, wanted to send him to a good club. He sent Tavares to Marseille. Obviously, we've got something with Marseille. Obviously, Arteta and Edu, they trust what Marseille are doing with our players, and that at the end of the day can only be good for Arsenal. And like you said, we're smashing this loan system out the park at the minute, and we're getting it right. And if the most important thing now is what we need to do now is we're building the squad. We've got our first 11. That's there. We're getting the remnants of our bench sorted, but we still need that squad basis and players like that have gone out with Balogun and Tavares. They're the typical players that you want, to come back when they're meant to come back. The only thing I do worry about is Tavares' statement in the week, the fact that he wanted a buy option at the end of it. So that was a bit worrying. So
yeah, what would you take? What do you take on that one?
I don't know. Maybe whether he's putting a bit of pressure on Arteta. Maybe he's saying, "Well, look, I'm out here. I'm smashing it now. I'm playing in the Champions League. I'm scoring goals. I'm making goals." It seemed to be that it was after that he came out with this statement of, I would rather have had an option in this new contract to Marseille. So, yeah, but we had a.
Do you think that's because he just feels a bit? Do you think that's because he just feels a bit? Do you think that's maybe a sense of immaturity? Maybe he feels a bit like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's a stark contrast to the statement that he's made there to, I think there was an interview, I think it's even out on YouTube, which states he's happy at Arsenal and there was a few struggles in his first season while at Arsenal. But then maybe he's seen the sign of Zinchenko and he sees that as a threat for his position.
Yeah.
What's your take on it?
Yeah. I think it could be that he's obviously, it's not just Zinchenko, is it? It's Tierney as well, and he's probably looking at that. He's seeing the Arsenal start to the season, and obviously we've had one hiccup, but other than that, we've been smashing it. Obviously Zinchenko's came in and he's doing brilliantly. I think Tierney's getting there slowly. Each game, I think he's getting better and better. So Tavares is probably looking at it and think, well, where's my when I come back, what am I doing here? Should I have had? Are they going to just send me back because it's too late now? He hasn't got a buy option in that now. So it's if Arteta wants him back, he wants him back. So he's got to come back. I think you're right. I think it's a great point, the fact that you said, I think there could be a bit of immaturity in there. I think he's just he needs to slow down. If it is like he's getting a little bit not big for his boots, but you need to slow down. Just you're doing well. You've done great, fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Keep doing what you're doing, but don't not get out of your pram. That's a bit over the top to say that, but just slow down with your words. And I think he should have. I think that being immature is spot on. The way you said it, there is a possibility that things do get said in France, and then it comes back here and it's put in a totally different way.
Yeah, we know that. We know because
yeah.
Because if you look at all the statements that William Saliba made last season, he's then come back, and it felt like it was obvious from the interview that he actually had in England in English that there was never any thought of staying in Marseille, and that he knew that going to Marseille was to help his development. And I think maybe we should have read more into the interview that he did early doors in the season, where he said, I realised after a few games in Marseille that Arsenal sending me out was a kick up the backside.
Yeah.
But we read into that, and then after that, again, more statements came out where it's basically Marseille, a French tabloid, saying that Saliba wants to stay. If there's an option to stay, he would take it, and it was all of that. So again, I wouldn't read too much into it. There are quotes there from apparently what he said in this podcast, but yeah, I mean, with my agents, we always wanted an option to buy, but Arsenal did not want there to be one. But I'm in Marseille, and without an option, I am happy. So look, there we go. So without an option, he's happy. I don't feel like he's throwing his toys at the pram. I think at the time he probably felt that, okay, you've just bought in a left back, you're loaning me out. Is this me going? Just give him an option to buy. But as we know, options to buy don't necessarily work in the favour of the club putting that option in there. If you was to put an option to buy, which was something ridiculous for Tavares, let's say 40 million, then it's always going to benefit us, because we're going to earn. You can earn 40 million off a left back you bought for 7 million. However, as we saw with Torreira, as we saw with some previous other players, if your buy option doesn't suit that team, they don't have to put that option in, and they can just come in with another offer. They can just come with a lower offer to what they said previously. And we all know Marseille haven't got money to be buying Tavares at the end of this loan deal, especially if he does well. So yeah.
And then if anything, as I said, we're not even sure that that's the way it's come out. Like you said, we know how things can get misconstrued, or when it's over in France and it comes back here. But the way he should be thinking, he should be looking at William Saliba. If he wants to take, look at something, and the way look at William Saliba, because when he was out in Marseille, I mean, I know I was saying, even if he comes back, is he going to get in? You had Holding, you had Ben White, you had Gabriel. Where's Saliba going to go? Is he, but Saliba came back with the fact that I'm going to start, and he should be the same. He should be doing all he can, and all that should be in his head was, I'm going to go back to Arsenal, and I'm going to get that left back position. Even though we have got Kieran Tierney and Zinchenko there, that's the right attitude to have, and I'm sure he has.
Yeah, no, definitely. One thing I also did notice is Arsenal seem to be putting players in clubs that suit their play, suit Arsenal style of play, suit the club style of play, and it's also they're not just throwing them into clubs where, like as we've seen previously, where we've loaned out players from Eddie Nketiah to Serge Gnabry to all the way down to Ali Adier. If they're not getting game time, so there's no point in them going out on loan. We had Miguel Aziz last season, who went to Portsmouth. It was very in and out of the team. It was clear that they didn't fancy him, so Arsenal brought him back out and brought him back to the under 23s. This is a much more structured way and precise way of doing things in the loan market this season.
Yeah. Definitely. The club is mega important, and the way they play, as you say, they play a similar. They like to play football, they like to pass it about, very similar to the way Arsenal like to play. You even look at some of the players there that are at Marseille or have been at Marseille in the last 2 or 3 years. You look at the striker that that Balogun has taken from Hugo Ekiti. From who's really Balogun has gone and replaced. They're very similar, small, slight, quick. So look, when they're frighteningly similar when you watch him play. If you ever go and watch a YouTube, watch a clip of Nkiti, they're so very, very similar. So it's like he's gone into that type of play. They play that type of football. Balogun plays that type of football at Arsenal. He's just popped in and he's just, he's just doing something that he's used to, other than just, it's no good, is it, kids? When you go in there and you've got to change your whole way of play. I mean, that's a waste of time. Because you're not going to improve, because if you go to somewhere and then you come back and you've got to keep changing it, you just can't. You can't do that. But I totally agree. Very, very important to play to a club who are going to, firstly, as I said earlier on, I said you've got to look after you, maybe speak the same language, play the same football, and then come back to us, and it can only benefit us. It can only benefit us, and it can only be good.
Yeah, no, definitely. Totally agree. One bit of news that is coming out, and I'm sure Steve will know about it very soon, or if not now. Arsenal pushing to agree new deals for Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, and William Saliba. 3 players who have had very good starts to the season so far. We know how important these 3 players could be going forward. Just for peace of mind, they need to get these deals wrapped up pretty soon, don't they?
They do, and they will. They are, from what I'm being told, they're getting wrapped up. The Saka one is in process, right now. It's been in process for quite a long while. They've been talking about it. Arteta said that there is no rush. I've actually sort of spoken through his agent. His name will come to me in a minute. But he's a strange man. That's all I can say. But I mean, they're talking, and it will happen. It will happen. And as for Saliba and as for Martinelli, just the same. They're not going to go nowhere. They're going to sign new contracts. They love where they are. They've been quoted recently by saying that they're happy. It's just a matter of putting pen to paper for free. But it's massively important. It's massively important to get all of them on 5-year contracts. And I mean, even if it does come to I'm not saying it will happen, but if in the future a Man City does come in, and we can say that we want top dollar for them, and I think all of them. I mean, Saliba, incredible. I mean, the amount of money we've got, a player there who cost us literally, was it 27 million? I mean, he must be worth, say, 60 now. Martinelli, the same. And Saka, where he's that little bit older, 18, 90 million. This is what they're going to be worth in 2 years' time. You're talking probably the way sort of the prices sort of fluctuate, year by year, season by season. You're talking about £300 million footballers there. So massively important to get done, and they will get done. The Saka one is very close now to being done. But there's a little bit of worry there from Man City with Saka. There's no worry from Martinelli with Liverpool. Saka's keeping a bit quiet. Martinelli's and Saliba is they're there for the foreseeable. I do have a worry about Saka though. I keep hearing these little things about Saka, and I don't want to hear them, but there are little fleeting things that I keep hearing about him. I'm looking at his game recently, and there seems to be a lot on his mind. I don't know if that's to do with a contract, or he's just one of them things, he just, form just sometimes drops. But I don't know about you. I mean, you worried about Saka at all, kids? You're mute, Kears.
It's funny how when those contracts are getting signed, like last time, the interest in Bukayo Saka seems to get ramped up. So I do think that his agent is definitely playing a part in it. Look, I'm under no illusion there's definitely interest in Saka. Like, he's a top player, top prospect. But I do think it's his agent making sure that Saka's getting that extra bit here and there in his contract. Do you think that go on?
Yeah, no, I asked Bukayo Saka's agent about the City rumours. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was the first time I'd spoken to him, so I wasn't expecting much back on a first message conversation, if you like. But sometimes you read into things, and the question was, are Man City interested in Bukayo Saka? Literally plain and simple as that. And the answer I got back was, again, it wasn't no long sentence, but it was all that he said was, at the moment, all I can say is we're talking to Arsenal about a new contract. Now, you can look at that, like that, how you would, and viewers and people listening now can look at that how you would. You can look at that as he's not telling you about Man City because there's an interest, or he is just being straight and blunt with you, and we're talking about a new contract, but there wasn't much there. So
yeah, I think there's a level of professionalism there, the way he said that, and read into it how you will. Like I said, he's not said no, he's not shut it down, but to openly say yes, Man City are interested, it's then
a bit much, isn't it?
It is a bit much. It's a bit much. So yeah, look, I can't knock him for that. As we said previously, it's not for the agent to dismiss or shut down rumours, because it could come round that Arsenal then turn around and say, "No, we don't want you anymore." And if you then shut down that club, you then got to go crawling back to that club so it's in the agent's interest to keep all the options open, and keep all the cards, and not shut things down, especially openly, because we all know there have conversations behind closed doors, but openly in the public, shutting things down is very dangerous for his client. So yeah, I don't expect him to do that.
Yeah, I was just trying to find the good guy's name here.
Do you think that Saliba expected to come back and have the atmosphere that he's had, the impact that he's had so far, starting this many games, and how much do you think that his start to his Arsenal career, his second start to his Arsenal career, has sort of pushed him towards that contract, being so confident in getting that contract done?
Yeah, I mean, I think when he signs this new contract, he should ask for the Arsenal fans' bank accounts and put a few quid in them. I think, because the way the Arsenal the fans have sort of taken to him since he came back to the club, even when he wasn't here, I've never known a furore about an Arsenal player who basically we had never seen play before. They was taking him even then. But since he came back to the club and he played his first game at the start of this season, the Arsenal fans have just took him to their hearts, and he's just gone on from strength to strength from that first game against Crystal Palace, and he's getting better and better. Mm-hmm. There's a load of different things that I think's gone for him for the reason why his form is being so good at the moment. He's obviously a very confident lad, because he's gone off to Marseille and he's smashed it. He's won Young Player of the Year. He's got into the French squad, so he's come back. He's very confident, so he's slitted in straight away into that Arsenal side very easily. There's a few French-speaking people there, so the language is pretty good. He's learning English slowly, but he's getting there. He's around people of his own age, which again helps on a social sort of matter. And Yeah, and again, you said it. You said it. When Arsenal loaned him out, they loaned him out to a club who plays the same type of football. So he hasn't had to change. He's gone out there, learnt that. He's became a French international. He's become a player of the year by playing the football that we want to play when he comes back. And he's come back and he's not changed. And he's just taken. We all said, or I said, that this kid could come back and he could walk into this centre half position, and he's done it. He's come in and he's made it his own. And there's all those different sort of things that I've just named that are all reasons why I think he's like he's playing well, and he's happy. He looks happy. Even when he makes a mistake on the pitch, he doesn't get down. He just picks himself up and he just carries on as if nothing's happened. Very, very Virgil van Dijk-ish, just wipes things off his shoulders and goes and gets on with his game. And he's so young, Kieran, to have that at that age. Yeah, I mean, all those attributes that has gone for him. But the main thing, mate, he's just a wonderful, wonderful player. He's a Rolls Royce of a centre half who could easily be. Yeah, I mean, he could be one of the greatest Premiership centre backs of all time if he keeps going on this conveyor belt. Very excited by him. But well done to him. Good luck. I'm pleased for him, because there was a lot of Arsenal fans popping him at one point, but as well as sort of raising him up. There was a lot of fans, saying, "Oh, he should have gone back. He should have gone alone. He shouldn't have gone alone." But he never. He seemed to just let that all go over his head, and he just got on with his football. Which is great.
I think he was very aware of the Arsenal fan base, because they're very vocal. But he kept his head down. He didn't let that sort of inflate his ego. He seemed to come back very humble, and he's knuckled down and held down his spot. And he's raised the levels of everyone else and made everyone else kept everyone else on their toes, especially players like Ben White. If you look at how he's been playing this season, although he will still and always will get pelters from a certain section of Arsenal fans. It's not 95% of Arsenal fans. Yeah, there's 4% that ain't watching, and there's 1% that just don't like this guy, and I do not know why. I think he's been excellent this season, Ben White. Incredible. But people will pick up things and say stuff like he goes to the ground too much, he's this, he's that. But he's another Rolls Royce of a defender. When you look at Gabriel Magalhaes, and of the three, he's the bosher, he's the lump. That shows how good of footballers the other two are. If Gabriel Magalhaes is meant to be the one that just smashes through people, and you've got Ben White, who's the sprays balls, who's still got that bit of grit and can still do that. And I say it's because he's had that time where he was at Newport. When Newport went on that cup run, beat Tottenham, Ben White was a part of that team. When Leeds got promoted and he was in team of the season, Ben White was a part of that team. And then he goes into Brighton and slots into Brighton like he's been there the whole time. Again, very good finish for Brighton in that season as well, and he's a part of that team. So I every time I watch Ben White, I'm impressed with him. I do not know what some of our Arsenal fans are seeing.
He's got so much to his game, isn't he? I mean, he's not the greatest of getting down the line, getting crosses in. No, okay, right.
No, but he's not a right back, is he? He's a right centre back. He can play right back.
But he can play right back. He's just not a wing back.
Yeah.
That's what he's not. He's not a wing back. He can easily fit in there right, but he's not just played right back for Arsenal. He's not like Mikel Arteta's going, here, Ben, filling at right back. He's played right back before at other clubs.
Yeah.
He's played in a three before, at clubs. So, in a back three where they've played like a 3-5-2, and he's been one of the three centre backs, and he's played that right side. So where he's had to sort of move over to that right outside a lot. So he's used to it. He's got so much to his game. Again, without having to sound boring to everyone, it's like I get so impressed the way he bombs through that midfield all the time, and he's got such close control. He pings 40-yard balls from any area of the pitch, right foot, left foot, Bosch over to Saka, Bosch over to Martinelli. I'm watching this, I'm like, and then at the end of the game, I'm seeing people going, White had a bad one today, didn't he?
Yeah,
I know. What?
Oh, honestly,
What?
yeah. Who was it against? Who was it against? I can't remember who it's against, yeah. But someone turned around and said, cool, Odegaard weren't on it today. He don't play well away. And I was like, nah, I'm not letting this one lie. I was like, bruv, what game are you watching? Because usually people don't even throw anything in. They just let people waffle. I'm bored of letting these people waffle. Yeah, Odegaard didn't have a good game. He's well off today. Bruv, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Oh, yeah, passes. Passes have been off. Final ball. Okay, so his final ball has not been pinpoint on every one. Mate, he's created 4 chances, yeah? He's dictating the play. He's making stuff happen. He's trying to open up avenues for people. What are you talking about? This is where I question the level of people's understanding of the game. Because I feel like not everyone, there's a certain contingent of Arsenal fans that expect everything to be perfect. And then we back up that with, I've just got high standards. Now, not even Pep Guardiola has the kind of high standards that you've got, mate. Like, come on, get a grip. Players will miss passes. It's about how they react to that miss pass. It's that. It's not. Players are always going to miss pass a ball. Players are always going to pass a ball and then it gets intercepted. What's their reaction? Are they chasing it down? Are they throwing their hands in the air? Are they waiting for someone else to do their job for them? That's the difference. That's the difference. So it's not a case of he had a misplaced pass, he's had a bad game. He had a misplaced pass, he chased it down, won it back, and then passed it off. So for me, that's not a misplaced pass. It don't matter because he's now won it back and we've got possession again. So
not robots, are they? They're not
exactly.
Not robots. It's like we've. I mean, I'm just quickly back to Ben White again. I'm like you. I can't get my head around it because sometimes when an Arsenal fan, even if some like Arsenal fans I respect, and they'll say something, I have to analyse it. And like, what are they? What are you seeing that I ain't? Because and then sometimes I worry about my own sanity, and I think, no, it's definitely not you. It's definitely not you.
I do the same thing. I see something. I'm like, did I just watch that game? Because I'm thinking they were not just all right. They had a good game. So I'm like, nah. So I start looking around. I'm looking around. This geezer said, she said he had a good game. Oh, okay, let's go to the journalist. 7 out of 10, 7 out of 10. No, you're the numpty, mate. It's not me. I'm not losing the plot. You're the idiot. Like, honestly.
I mean, look, let's face it. I mean, with Ben White, what is it? I mean, look, I'm not that way inclined. If you are, feel free. But he's a bit hench, isn't he, Ben White? Yeah, he's old top. He's got the muscles. He's got the big tattoos, player. I'd like to look like that. I think people don't like it. I think it's sometimes I think it's that. Same with Saka. He's a good-looking guy, right? Good-looking guy. Don't like him. Just find some excuse because I don't know what else it could be.
I honestly,
there's got to be something.
I need to ask them. Look, they in general they have their first set of like with these people. Yeah, you got to make sure you're ready when you're having a debate with them because they will have their list of things as to why they don't like Ben White, and then they will have the games and the minutes of when it happened. So if you go in blind, you're like, no, Ben White's a good player, and they go, nah, he does this, he does this, he does this, he does this, you're going to be caught cold. Don't do that to yourself because then you're going to be stuttering and muttering. You're going to be thinking of an answer 5 minutes later and you're going to be kicking yourself that you didn't have the answer on the spot. Be prepared. Whenever you're going to take on these numpties, when they're talking about Lokonga ain't good enough, Ben White ain't good enough, so many of the players we've got in our squad ain't good enough, be prepared. Have an argument. You will win. It's like the press. You've got to beat the press, mate. Pop it over the top. You do the press, bang. You clean through. You're winning. Don't be beaten. Don't be beaten. Let's quickly go to Steve. I know he's got a couple of questions. He said, Saliba can go wherever he wants, but he'll never get what he has with the fans here, and he regret moving. Stephen, most of them do. Most of them do. Look, the only one I could think that probably don't regret it is Ashley Cole, but I think for the first few years he probably was regretting it because he might have been winning trophies, but it weren't as fun as when he was doing it at Arsenal. Guarantee that. A false smile. He said players around him need to get the right positions as well. They should always give him the out ball to play. So is that Ben White you're talking about? Yeah. No, 100%. I do think that because he doesn't overlap with Saka, it kind of limits Saka's game, and he has to, it's meant that Saka has to sort of do a lot on his own. Yes, Ben White has been able to push up further in the pitch, but what he seems to do is he seems to tuck in more, Ben White, and look for that. Yeah. Look for the Saka to push out wide, and he'll put a through ball into Saka. Yeah, it's all good, it's working, but it's very one-dimensional at the moment. Like, what you need a fullback who's gonna make their fullback think. He's gonna have their winger not cheat and sit up all the time. Like with Ben White, you can have a winger that's tempted to just not really track back because Ben White's not getting forward as much. Whereas if you have even a Cedric, you can't do that because he's going to have 2 against 1, so it's not going to work for them. But yeah, look, I feel that Tomiyasu will start coming into games. We're getting into this part of the season where we've got European Cup, we've got Cup games, so there's going to be more rotation now. So having a big squad is going to benefit us. I could definitely see us playing 3 at the back at points in the season, especially when we come up in Europe or come up against teams like Man City as well. So, there's plenty of opportunity for these players to get game time. Anyone getting on to Ben White or Odegaard is clueless. No, I'm with you, mate. I'm fully with you.
Yeah. It was like the Man United game, not to go back to the Man United game. You know, it was like we lost that game, but like it was, that's it. Arsenal finished to the top of the league. They're done with. They're over with now. There was all the talk, all the math, and all that. I'm like, did anyone actually watch the game?
Nah, Steve. I was losing the plot on that. I was losing the plot.
Did anyone watch it?
Nah. Honestly, look. What I can take if Arsenal have lost, and they've lost in a way where they always lose. Yeah. Yes, Arsenal got hit on the counter-attack against Man United and at points were naive. But I'm not having this notion or this easy, lazy statements like soft underbelly, bullied, no leaders. Nah, not having it. Because that's absolute garbage. Because there was nothing on that pitch against Man United which said soft underbelly. Now, when we talk about soft underbelly, we talk about Man United bringing in Park Ji-sung, Man United bringing in Gary Neville, Darren Fletcher, Stoke kicking the crap out of Arsenal players, Birmingham doing the same thing. Like, this is when we talk about soft underbelly. When Arsenal get bullied or get fouled out of games, and referees ain't looking after the players' well-being. That's soft underbelly. Lack of leadership, was not the other day. Leaders in our squad, look, Zinchenko, Gabriel, Ramsdale, Gabriel is getting on his way. He's not there yet, but he's getting on his way. He's getting there, Granit Xhaka. I've already mentioned Gabriel, but that's 5 already. That's 5 players who are either captain of their national and Odegaard, are either captain of their national team or have shown massive leadership skills since they've been here. Massive leadership skills. Zinchenko, if he was here for a few years, I think he'd be Arsenal captain because he's the epitome of a leader. He is the epitome of a leader. He's on the bench shouting like he's on the pitch. Yeah. He is involved in everything. He's making sure that the players are keeping humble, keeping their head down, making sure they're aware of the situations on and off the pitch. This geezer's been here 5 minutes and he's already taken that on his back. Gabriel Jesus done the same thing with the youngsters, the Portuguese players. Made a point of making them feel at home, and it's his new home. How is Gabriel Jesus getting Martinelli and Gabriel Magalhaes, and they're all great friends from the start? They're all like treating him with the utmost respect, like he's a leader, because he is the leader. Because he's the leader of the Portuguese gang now. So
he's a winner. He's a winner, isn't he? He's a winner. He's a title winner.
It's absolute nonsense. It's lazy. Watch the game. Break apart Arsenal's shortcomings in that game, and you could have said naivety. To say soft underbelly like we got bullied off the pitch is absolute rubbish. To say that there's no leaders was absolute nonsense. Like I can hold up my hands if I feel like we've had no leaders. I can hold up my hands if I feel like we were bullied off the pitch. But that just weren't the case.
It was moments, wasn't it? It was just moments.
It was moments. And Man United were more clinical. That's what it boiled down to. They were more clinical. They were more ruthless. Ask Man United fans, honestly, what they were feeling during the game. Afterwards, they will tell you, this and that, rah, rah, rah. They will, during the game, they were scared. At 1-0, at 1-0, messages peppering. Once they scored that goal, no messages for about 50 minutes. Not one message. Why? Why was there no messages, boys?
Nervous, worried.
Nerves. You were worried because we were on you. This wasn't the normal Arsenal. We were just not ruthless.
Yeah,
that's our problem. That was our problem.
It's like when we went behind against we went behind. Who got goals back against us? Leicester and Fulham, weren't it? Straight away we was back on them, and that's how he was against Man United. It was just on that day we just couldn't. We just couldn't get that goal, and they caught us on the break. To be fair, they caught us on the break. And
that is what Arsenal needs to do. They need to be more ruthless because they're going to be games like that. It's going to be games like that, and against better opposition when they do get opportunities, they're going to take their chances. It happened against Liverpool, 0-0. Martin Odegaard last season missed an absolute sitter. Jota went up the other end and scored a goal. 2 minutes, 3 minutes later, they scored another one. Game over. And that's the difference. It only takes that one goal to knock the wind out your sails when you're doing really well against a top team. Like, you need to be ruthless. You need to take the opportunity because the chances are they will score. So,
see, that was where the naive. Sorry to keep going on, but that's where Lukonga's done great since he's come in. I think we've got a player there, right? I was a little bit worried, but I think we've got a player. I think he's done great since Partey was back. But if Partey was there, I think you'd have a different story.
I think completely different game.
Completely different game because Lukonga was sort of coming a little bit more forward than what Partey's got that position there. You know, he's got it primed, he's got it sorted, he knows exactly what to do. He's more experienced, he's got an older head, he's played in massive games. Lukonga isn't, and he would have just sat in front of the defenders, and when they got that break, he would have been there just to step across. But he wasn't there, and that's football. So, but next time.
Exactly. Like you said, in future, and I've seen the thing is, I saw Lukonga make the same pass against FC Zurich, and he learned from that. But he's what the things I like him for are the things that are going to be he's going to have to work on to make sure he's making that right decision at the right time. Is that the right decision when there's 3 players and one of your players around? That's a long ball to be making along the ground. Is that the right move, or is that a time to?
Do you mind him doing that? Out wide? Do you mind him doing that?
No, I don't mind him doing it. I want him to do that because that's what Partey does. That's the difference. Partey is not just normal. The difference between Partey and El Nene, if when you're talking about Partey, he will make a pass which will cut out 3 of their players. You completely. El Nene won't. El Nene will make that ball and play a simple ball. That's his game. I'm not digging it out. But Thomas Partey, the reason why he stands out from the rest is because he will make that pass. He will try and make that killer pass. And that is the difference. Lukonga's trying that. Lukonga tries that. He just needs to make sure that pass either goes through, as they say in golf, never underhit it. Never underhit it. Because if you underhit it, you're caught off guard. If you overhit it, it goes off the pitch. If you underhit it, which he's done twice and made the wrong decision, we're caught on the break and they hit us. Yeah, so that's the difference. He'll learn from that. Right, let's quickly do a Brentford preview. Arsenal got Brentford on Sunday. Going to be a tough game, but potentially Thomas Partey could be back in line for that one. It's a chance to see Ivan Toney up against William Saliba. It's going to be a tough matchup for Saliba. I did notice that the one game that he seemed to have trouble with was against a burly striker in Ollie Watkins. He seemed to struggle in that game, and he could potentially struggle against an Ivan Toney. And maybe Arsenal will be smart and put Gabriel up against Toney in this game. What's your thoughts on this one? Brentford away from home.
Yeah, well, tough. We remember last season, although we was, that was sort of different times. It was right in the middle of COVID then, wasn't it? Or we had a lot of people down with COVID anyway at the time. We had a very, very weakened squad. And Brentford is a tough place to go, and they've just come up and they deserve to win the match. But I expect better this time. I expect to go on to a win. I hope Thomas Partey is back, although I think Lokonga's done really well. There have been occasions when you think, if he hasn't played bad, you keep him in. But I think the gap in class between Lokonga and Partey, I think you bring Partey in if he's fit. I think that's a bit of a no-brainer, that one. It's a little bit similar to if it was in Nketiah and Jesus and that type of thing. So, yeah, hopefully he's fit and he comes in. But it's going to be tough. It will be interesting to see about Ivan Toney up and who Arteta puts on him. Not so quick on the ground, Toney, but very strong, who's the strongest centre-back? Who's the one who can probably, because that's what he'll be using, who's the better in the air, because Tony's very, very good in the air. He's very, very good with his back to play. So he's obviously going to be trying to turn Saliba or Gabriel. They're very similar, aren't they, Gabriel and Saliba? There's not a lot a difference, but just through the experience, I think might be a good idea to put Gabriel on him. I don't know if was Odegaard rested, or is he? I think he'll be back, won't he, Odegaard on Sunday? So it'd be good to see him back. Although I thought Vieira was very good on against Sociedad.
Yeah, no. So again, I thought he was really good. Yeah,
yeah.
And go to the comments. You go to the comments, and what they saying? He needs to toughen up. He needs to get down the gym. He needs to And I was like,
what?
Nah. Look, I saw.
He was bouncing people.
Mate, Steve, they're clueless, mate. Honestly,
it's draining. He looked strong.
It's draining. Yeah, but look, they're taking. So there was one time, yeah, where he's got the ball, he gets tackled. But he's smart because obviously he deals with this all the time. He puts his body in front of the ball and wins a free kick. Now they taking that he got knocked off the ball afterwards, got clattered, that he's weak. Because come on, seriously. We had Aaron on from the Portuguese football. And he said, because I asked him, does he need to get down the gym? Does he need to bulk up? He said, no. He's dealt with that, and he wouldn't have been in that Porto team if he couldn't handle himself. His defensive side is very good. So, and then when you hear the actual professionals talk about it, he dealt with it very well. Considering he's quite a slight player, he did well to handle some of them tough challenges. He was getting stuck in. He wasn't shying away from it, and you're like, nope, I'm not losing my mind. So. Yeah,
I thought he was very strong. I thought he come out of that game very well. A lovely pass for the goal. Arteta's already very excited. We've seen clips of him. He looks great. But yeah, as I say, Brentford game. I think we'll go there. I think we'll win. I think we'll win pretty well. We may let a goal in. They're dangerous up front. They've not just got Toney. They've got a couple of other players there as well. They'll have the crowd behind them. Be interesting to see Be interested to see what they do with Ben White and Tommy Asu, kids. It's a tough one now for Arteta. That it could go either way. I'd still stick with Ben White personally. I wouldn't change it. Probably he might. I think like we'll. I know Brentford are the same. They've had a break and all, but we've had a game. We've not without a midweek game, so. The postponement of the weekend game, I think, will go for us. I think that'll do us a favour, and I think we'll come away with a win. Although it'll be very tough, and but I'd love Partey to be back. I think the Premier League. We were living in unprecedented times at the moment with the death of the Queen.
Yes, it was not good timing. I'm just like that. Just so I was doing some stuff in the background. Steve just decides to go. There we go. Perfect time to come back in. There you go. As you were saying.
But yeah, just to say, we live in unprecedented time with the death of Queen Elizabeth, and thoughts go out to the royal family. So yeah, it's. I think the Premier League mixed the trick just to not playing those games a weekend. That was quite disappointing.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on that? What's your thoughts on that?
I thought they missed the trick. I thought they missed the trick not playing them.
Do you know what I think? I think that they were. Football it's an easy target. Football, like footballers, football, whatever. Yeah. And I just feel like there was an element of. I feel like there was an element of overthinking it and thinking that they would have got hounded for carrying on playing. I don't know whether there was an issue with police presence and anything like that. But then again, you can always postpone individual games if, say, in London, for instance, we would have been very understanding the fact that the majority of the police would have been made to go and work around the palace or around where things were happening. So maybe games in London may be an issue. But the rest of the country, it just never made sense to me at all. Didn't make sense.
No, I think they missed the trick. I mean, as I said, like we see. I mean, I do like all sports, so I was watching the golf and I was watching the cricket, and they gave incredible, sort of respectful. It was great. They playing the national anthem. The crowds there was playing their respects in their thousands, and I was thinking, you've missed a trick here, and I think cricket and golf got it spot on. Thousands and thousands of people, all over the country paying respects to the Queen would have been a fitting, send off for Queen Elizabeth, and I think we missed out on that. But it's done now. As you said, football is an easy target when things like this happen. I see I think they panicked, and I just think they cancelled it. I can understand why they're cancelling games this week. I get that. The Chelsea, the Man United games, they're all coming down to London. The police, and it's going to be unbelievable in London. So I would expect the big games to be called off there because most importantly, safety comes first. But as I said, the weekend. Missed the trick. It would have been a shame. I would have loved to have seen packed stadiums, respectful silences, national anthems all over every ground in the country, paying their respects. The Premier League come out and said, we're going to cancel the games to pay our respects. Well, I don't think they did. I think they missed the trick. I think where was the respect paid by cancelling the games? I think, thousands and thousands of fans all over the country, players wearing black armbands, some would have had bands playing at the total missed the trick there. I think they got it totally wrong, mate.
Yeah, so do I. And I think many other people didn't understand that decision. Let's give us your key player against Brentford.
Key player against Brentford? Well, I mean, I think it's got to be key player. Could be a centre back. You could say it's Lever to keep Tony quiet, but I think we're I'm past that now. Last season it was all about stopping. I think the idea now is that they have to stop us. I mean, and even in our defeat against Manchester United, it was all about them trying to stop us, and they just caught us on the breaking moment in the moments. So I'll be the same here. So I think you can only name one man. I think the main man is going to be Gabriel Jesus.
All right, Gabriel Jesus is the man to stop for Brentford. And what's your score prediction?
I think we'll win it. I think Well, I think we might let a goal in. So I'm going to go for 3-1.
All right, Steve's gone for a 3-1 away victory against Brentford. All right, Stephen, give us your score predictions as well before we go, mate. Thank you for everyone who has joined us tonight. As I always say, if you are new to the show, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you are a regular, hit that like button and hit that share button as well. You just have to press the copy button. You don't have to do anything else. Or as Stephen did last week, he shared it 5 times. What a legend. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. You know, he did. And it definitely made a difference.
Great.
All right. Steve, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Thank you.
All right. And Steve's final thought was, really, what games are those guys watching? I honestly, sometimes I do wonder. I'm not going to second guess myself anymore. If I see them donuts talking again, I'm just going to call them out. All right. That is all we have time for. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Peace out, people. Stay safe and wash your hands.